Hello friends, welcome back. Hello friends, welcome back. So today we are going to some of the questions of Java. We are going to discuss some of the questions on Java that will be mostly asked in the interview. So we will learn some of the basics questions. Uh, so let me present my screens and in in between if you have any questions regarding you can ask me in the comment section. I'll take that also. So let me share my screen once. I hope you can see my screen. So the questions wise if we get started, so the we will learn a lot of questions here, so generally that will be asked in the interview. We'll revise those here. So first one is what are static blocks and static initializer? Static block and static initializer in Java. What do you think? What is the static block? So static block, it's a block of code in your class that will be used to initialize the static variable, that is called static block. And static initializer is something that the fields that we want to initialize, that is called static initializers. So static block and static initializer. So static blocks are or static initializer, it's the same. It's the same. It's the same. There is no change in that. Static block or static initializer are used to initialize the static field or static variable. Fields are nothing but variables in Java. We declare static block when we want to initialize the static field or static variable in our class. Static block gets executed exactly once because class will be loaded only once, and static block will be executed when class is being loaded. Okay. Next, how to call constructor from one from other constructor? How we can call? So within a class, if we want to call the constructor, then we have to use this keyword, this statement. Use this keyword and this braces you have to use to call the constructor. If it is an argumented constructor, if there is an argument, then inside this you can pass your argument to call the argumented constructor also. And if you want to call the super class constructor, then you have to use super. So this will be used to represent the current object, this class object. And if you want to refer to super class, then you have to use super keyword. Okay. What is method overriding? What is method overriding and what is method overloading? So there are two concepts. This is a polymorphism implementation approach. How you will implement the polymorphism. So what is method overriding and what is method overloading? Both are different. So method overriding is the we can say that it's a one of the polymorphism implementation, and overridings will happen from the superclass. Suppose if in your superclass there is a method, that method you want to re-implement in your subclass, it means you have to override the method, and this is also called runtime polymorphism. This is also called runtime polymorphism. So what it says, if we have a method with the same signature, same name, same signature, same return type in the superclass and subclass, then we say subclass method overridden by superclass. We can say that subclass method is overridden by superclass method is overridden by subclass. When to use overriding when to use overriding when you are not happy with the super level implementation. Whatever implementation is provided in a superclass, if we are not happy with that, or if we want to modify that behavior, we want to modify that feature, in that case we need to use overriding mechanism. We can override the superclass method, we can give our implementation. So what it says, if we want same method with the different behavior, superclass and subclass, then we can go with overriding. And when we call overridden method, then the subclass reference subject subclass method is called hiding the superclass method. Okay. So overriding, if someone asks what is overriding, so overriding in a simple one line statement, you can say overriding is a way of it's a way of implementing polymorphism, or you can say runtime polymorphism in Java. Overriding is a runtime polymorphism. That's it. Overriding, it's the implementation of a runtime polymorphism in Java. Yeah. Okay. So what is difference between method overloading and method overriding? See, method overloading and method overriding both are the techniques or way of implementation run polymorphism in Java. Method overloading is compile time polymorphism. Method overriding is a runtime polymorphism. Method overloading method overloading, it's we can say that it's a compile time binding, and that is a overriding is a runtime binding. We can say like that also. Some different terminologies we can use it. So method overriding occurs within the same class, but method overriding occurs between the superclass and subclass. Since it's involved with only one class, inheritance is not involved. In this method overloading, there is no inheritance relationship. Inheritance is not required. But in method overriding, inheritance is required. Okay. Overriding returns type need to be same, but it can be return type must be same, need not to be same. Overriding, if you're doing overloading, return type no need to be same, but in case of method overriding return type must be same. This is another difference you can observe here. Parameters must be different when we do overloading. When we do overloading, parameter should be different, or order should be different, or type should be different. But here everything should be same. Parameters must be same. You have to keep in mind always. Static polymorphism can be achieved using method overloading, and dynamic polymorphism can be achieved using method overriding. In overriding, one method can't hide the another, but here it will hide the superclass method. Okay. Next, difference between abstract class and interface. What is the difference? So first tell me what is the use of abstract class and interface. Abstract class and interface are used to achieve the abstraction in Java. We know Java is an object-oriented programming language. So object will have state, behavior, and it will have some of the concept like polymorphism, abstraction, inheritance. So all these features, how will you implement in Java? If Java implements those features, then Java is called object-oriented programming. So abstraction is one of the feature of object-oriented programming. So how will you achieve abstraction in Java? So there are two ways to achieve abstraction in Java. One is by abstract class, another one is by interface. Now there is some difference. So interface contain only abstract method. So you can say that to achieve 100% abstraction, we will use interface. And if we want to use some percentage of abstraction, then we can go with abstract class. So that's why abstract class can have concrete method also. But in interface there can be a default implementation, but it's not an you can say that it's a concrete method, but it's a default implementation. To call that one, you must have a class only. Okay. Access specifier for method in interface must be public, and by default it is a public. But except private, we can have any access specifier for the method in abstract. Okay. Variable can be static and final, public, static, and final. In interface, if you want to define any variable, that should be of a public, static, and final only. Public, static, and final only. And in this one, except private, it can be of any specification, any specifier you can use it. Multiple inheritance in Java is implemented using interface, and in Java we cannot implement multiple inheritance using abstract class. To implement interface we use implements keyword, and to implement the interface we use extend keyword. Sorry, to implement the abstract class we use extends keyword, and to implement interface we use implements keyword. Here I think mismatched, it should be extend. If it is another class, then you have to use extend, but if it is an interface, then we have to use implements. Okay. Why Java is a platform independent? So because of JVM, Java is platform independent. You can say JVM is nothing but it's a virtual machine that will execute the Java program. Someone is there who will execute your program. Who will do that? JVM. So JVM has to be installed in your target machine. If you are using Java in a Linux, then you have to install JVM. If you are using Java in Windows, you have to install Java JVM in that machine. If you want to execute your program in Mac operating system, then in Mac operating system you have to install JVM. So JVM is a machine that makes Java as platform independent programming language. The most unique feature of Java is a platform independent, and in any programming language, source code is compiled into executable code, but in Java, it's not happen like that. In Java, the program will be converted to byte code. It will not be converted directly to executable code. Executable code will be machine level execution code, like machine will directly execute that one. But in Java, it will be converted to byte code, that is a dot class file, and that dot class file your JVM will execute. So so this cannot be run across all the platform, because if you are directly converting the code to executable code, it will not run on any type of operating system. It cannot run. In that case, Java convert to this code to dot class, and that dot class will executed by your JVM. Okay. Next, what is method overloading? We have discussed already we have discussed it. What is method overloading? What is method overriding? Overriding will happen from super class, but overloading will happen in the same class. And if you have to achieve method overloading, then you have to change the number of parameter, or you have to change the number of argue number of parameter, type of parameter, or order of the parameter. You have to do any one from these three options. Either you have to change the number of parameter, or you have to change the order of parameter, or you have to change the type of parameter. But method name should be same. Return type, it can be anything. It can be ignored, or that's not matter of fact. But in case of overriding, everything should be same. Type, name, type, order, number, everything should be same. Return type also should be same. Okay. So that is the method overloading. So method overloading, like if one class will have a method and you want to overload that method, you have to use the same name, but you have to change the arguments, number of argument, type of argument, order of argument. And overloading is used to achieve the compile time polymorphism or static polymorphism. Method overloading is used to achieve the compile time or static polymorphism. Okay, next. Difference between C++ and Java. You might have observed lot of differences are there, but generally, uh, the main is pointer. Pointer is not there in Java, and the main features of Java is a platform independent. Java is a platform independent programming language. C++ is a platform dependent programming language. Second one, there is no pointer in Java, but in C++ pointer is there. There is no operator overloading in Java, but in C++ operator overloading is there. Garbage collection is not there in C or C++. Manually we have to do that one, but in Java, one thread is already running, it is doing garbage collection. Supports multi-threading, yes, but C++ do not support multi-threading. There are no templates in Java, but in C++ templates are there. There is no global variable in Java, but in C++ it's there. So these are the uh, some difference between C or C++. Generally won't ask, but you keep in mind. Next, what is JIT compiler? What is JIT compiler? See, JIT compiler stand for just in time compiler. Suppose you are executing your bytecode in your JVM, but definitely to execute that actual statement in your program, in your operating system, you need some compiler. So JIT compiler compiles bytecode into the executable code so that machine can execute that one. Bytecode bytecode will be converted. Who will convert bytecode to your executable machine executable code? JIT will do it. So JIT is a part of your JVM, and JIT cannot convert complete Java program into the executable code. Whenever it is required, like loops say something, whenever it is required, it will convert. It is not completely converting before and it's doing. Okay. What is bytecode? So bytecode is simply your JVM will execute the code, like dot class file will be bytecode that will be executed by your JVM. So when Java compiles a class to generate dot class file. The dot class file contains a set of instruction called a bytecode, and bytecode is a machine independent language and contains a set of instruction which are to be executed only by your JVM. So you can say that bytecode is the dot class file bytecode that will be executed by your JVM. Bytecode is the set of instruction. You can say that bytecode is set of instruction that will be executed by your JVM. Okay, difference between this and super we have discussed already. See, this will be used to refer the current class member. Super will be used to access the super class member. Okay, what is class? What is class? So a class is nothing but it's a blueprint for object. Simple. And you can, in another word, you can say that a class is a way how to define object structure, or you can say that class defines the structure of object. Like in object, what will be the behavior, what will be the state, something like that. Suppose I want to define an object class. So what can an object have? Car object have. Car will have a color, model, name, manufacturing date, some engine number, chassis number, something like that it will have. So where all this information you will define. Who will make this one? So some class has to be designed first, then object will be created from that class. So class are the fundamental or basic unit of object oriented programming. A class is a kind of blueprint or template of object, and class defines variable methods. A class tells what type of objects we are creating. For example, a department class tells us we can create a department type object, something like that. Okay, so this is an example, first class or something like that. Okay, if we see the above class, okay, leave it. What is an object? So object is a real world entity. If someone asks what is object, any object is a real world entity. One chair, object. Table, object. Mobile phone, object. Your ball pen is an object. हेलो, बस आऊँ मैं एक मिनट. Okay, so this is all about the object. Next, what is method? Yeah, very simple. It's nothing but method is uh, the function. Method is nothing but a function of object that is defined in your Java class. That will have a name, that will have a parameters, that will have a return type, it will have a body. Inside body, it will have some of the instructions. It contains an executable body that can be applied in a specific object of a class. Okay. What is encapsulation? Wrapping a data and a code into a single unit called wrapping. The process of wrapping is a putting up a data in a single unit. Putting up a data and a code in a single unit keeps data safe from the misuse called an encapsulation. Through encapsulation, we can hide and protect the data. Okay, that is encapsulation. Suppose Java encapsulate the code will be there, data will be there, data, code, everything will be there. That is the wrapping. So for example, car class. In car, we have many parts and not required for driver to know what it consists. He is required to know only about to start then stop the car, how to take left turn, something like that. That is an abstract encapsulation. Actually, encapsulation is the part of object oriented programming. We have already learned that one. Next, mm, why main method is a public, static, and void? See, why main method is a public? The name is a main method. It's taken from C or C++. The same name they have used. So that's why its a name is a main. Why it is a public? So that JVM can call this with the class name itself. Why it is a static? Because there is no object required to call the main method. And why it is a void? Because JVM will not do anything with the return type. That's why this is a public, static, and void. Main method is a public, static, void. Okay. Okay. So in this session we will do this much, and after some time we will start another session, and where we will start from this next question. So please uh, be available. We will do the remaining part of this session. Thank you and have a nice day.